What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Radiovania, episode number 29, your nerdy public radio for all things entertainment and pop culture. My name is Zach Rotello, at Zach Rotello on Twitter, and sitting across from me is John Swanson Parker, straight out of a time machine.
Excelsior!
How you doing, man?
Good, how you doing?
Oh, it's good to be back.
It is.
I was driving down, I was planning out the show, I was thinking about the articles and the news, the segments that we're going to be talking about today, and I was thinking, it's been 2 weeks since we did a proper one of these shows. I mean, we had the Lost Cast.
We had a short show, and then like a Batman Day.
Yeah.
Little snippet.
But the Lost Cast went up great. Yeah. We're getting a really good response from that episode, actually, which is interesting. Still, I mean, we don't have that many active fans on the Twitters and in the comment section of these videos, but the hit count on the Lost episode went really, really well.
All right.
So, I mean, there's
I guess
that.
We'll have to do another one.
I think a big part of it is that it's such a specific thing, which I think we should do more of those. I think we should do more blank casts. So, I think
start brainstorming.
Yeah, so our favorite shows, I think, are all up for grabs. Our favorite movies, I think, even just properties. Like, you keep wanting to revisit the Star Wars discussion, and I think maybe Rogue One comes around, maybe Episode 8.
Yeah, that would be fun. I think if we could ever venture into a Game of Thrones via Lord of the Rings type thing, because Kyle and Michael are both huge fans of Game of Thrones. So there's a little more, and those are very similar too. So that'd be kind of fun to hash out.
That would
because
be
the Lord of the Rings,
especially with
the Lord of the Rings Star Wars one is always just going to be divided, and it's fun, and I would love to do it again, but.
Well, you could present
That,
PowerPoints.
so.
You could present a PowerPoint.
Oh, I would make a presentation.
Presidential debate style.
Yeah, and I would come dressed as Obi-Wan, and it'd be great.
We'd have to film it. That'd be fantastic.
Yeah.
If you've never listened to an episode of Radiovania before, the premise is very, very simple. We get here once a week. We talk about the hottest topics in nerd culture and pop culture, so music, movies, video games, television, sports. Speaking of sports, how's that fantasy going?
I got bent over by Connor Kemp, our friend.
He's been on the show before.
Yeah, and then in my other league, I had an amazing 40-point comeback, and I won. So I went 1-1 this week. First official loss of fantasy of the season to my friend. So that was...
I drink and I throw things is 1-2 currently. Not doing... These last few weeks have been hard.
Yeah,
just very hard.
Solely Sexy Stash will come back, as always, fighting. More like Crazy Handsome.
More like Crazy Handsome. So we did a lot of stuff this past week. In fact, there was a lot of news, a lot of small topics, a lot of little things that I'd like to hear your opinions on and discuss with you in this safe space. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Safe space. But first, a couple things we want to run through. We came back on Sunday from the Cincinnati Comic Expo.
Yes.
Talk to me about what do we see? What do we do? It was a good experience for me. This was my first big sort of. It wasn't necessarily. I mean, it's not Comic-Con, but it's a comic expo.
Comic-Con. Yeah. This one it's unique because it's put up by the city of Cincinnati and the Duke Energy Center. So it's not like Wizard World or like Dragon Con or MegaCon or Fandom Fest, like one of those traveling cons. So this was something that Cincinnati does, which was really cool.
Yeah.
I thought it was really pretty big, surprisingly.
It was I've never been inside the Duke Energy Convention Center before, and I was really impressed with the size of the show floor. Panel room, not so much. I thought the panel room left a little bit to be desired, but on the other hand, we only went to one panel, and we didn't see... do you think that was the same panel? They did they were lauding this Comic Expo as Stan Lee's final Midwest appearance or whatever.
Yeah.
Do you think that was the same room?
That's definitely where he was in.
Really?
He did that on Saturday or Friday. Yeah.
Seems like a small room.
I thought we had a small turnout for the panel that we went to. I think filled up with people, it would seem a little bigger.
That's true. And who did we happen to see on that panel?
We saw Tim Rose and Mike Quinn. For those of you that don't know, they are actors / puppeteers who have worked in famous films you might have heard us talk about: Return of the Jedi, The Force Awakens. So it was pretty cool. And Tim Rose played Admiral Akbar as his most notable role in the Star Wars franchise. And Mike Quinn played your boy Nine Numb, who we all know and love.
And the thing is that we listened to the panel, which was fantastic, by the way. Those guys are really cool, really interesting to listen to.
Really interesting. They play off of each other really well. You could tell they've been working together for 35 years or however long.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that they opened the panel up for questions at the end, which is typical for most comic panels like that.
Definitely.
And I was like, I wanted to ask them a question, but obviously the thing to most people would be the voices of these characters, but they did most of the puppeteering and not the voices. So when I thought about that, I was like, we got to ask them a real question. So I asked them about CGI and the current trek of movies and puppeteering and
Plus, Mike Quinn said cheers to you after you walked away, so that's something that you can take to heart.
Oh yeah, I'm happy
for
about
the rest
that.
of your life.
I'm glad I got to talk with them. They were cool guys, and they're really really funny. And there were a couple jackasses. Well, one jackass in particular asked a question about episode 8, which
they're not going to say anything.
Come on, don't you know by now? And then the second guy badmouthed the Howard the Duck film in front of these guys who made the character.
And Tim Rose played Howard the Duck. That was the one leading role that he's ever had in a film.
And this guy was just like, this guy was just badmouthing the movie. And
that's the problem with nerds. Is they don't have social skills. Some of them don't have social skills, but whatever. Regardless, it was still a really enjoyable panel.
It was a great panel. They did a great job.
And then we spent a couple hours touring the floor, looking at a lot of cool stuff, buying.
How much money did you spend on that show floor there, John Parker?
Probably like $90.
Whew.
Yeah.
Is that weak or strong for a comic show for you?
That's actually kind of weak.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, they don't come around very often.
Yeah.
So it's
special.
It's kind of special, and it's very rare that you'll find those caliber of selection of comic books in such a large quantity. So
tell the audience what you got.
Yeah, I'm hunting down the original printings of Long Halloween. It's 13-issue miniseries. We've talked about this loads of times. And so I got issues 6, 10, 11, and 12. So I'm on the hunt for the rest of those, and I'll be checking those in future shows that I go to. Instead of going the easy route and going on eBay and buying a set, I think I want to hunt them down personally. I don't want to feel them before I buy them, because the ones that I got were really good quality.
Yeah, so. You did pass them around.
And then I got a really dank Batman animated series Kevin Conroy shirt, so I'm pretty excited to bust that out for the babes.
My one big purchase was a fine Stranger Things shirt, which is, I was hoping for more. I saw a few cosplay Stranger Things.
I was
hoping
still fresh.
For a little more. It is a little fresh, but
think about how long it takes to order t-shirts and get them printed and stuff like that. And Stranger Things came out in July.
Yeah, and but it's interesting too, because nerd fandom or whatever, they tend to jump on the bandwagon pretty fast on a lot of these different.
What I thought was cool is we saw a lot of people doing cosplay as 11.
Yeah,
both male and female. So it's just cool that it's very latched on to at this point, which is great, because it's a fantastic show.
Yeah, I got my mom to watch it, and the other day she was laughing because she was like, "It's the only time I've ever seen a show, and I've wanted to go back and watch it again." And I was like, "Yeah, Mom."
There you go. It's too good.
It is too good.
It's too good for us.
It's just too good. And we'll talk about Stranger Things here in a little bit when we talk about the Emmys, which I know we're a little late on, but we skipped last week in lieu of a Lost
Plus,
Cast.
we were late on the Oscars, so what do you want from us?
Yes, but that's true. We have been late on, but we should probably just do that as a standard from now on. We'll always be a week late on all award shows.
Sounds good.
Yeah. But in terms of stuff, what have you been playing? What have you been watching? You've been playing a little bit more of that Bioshock.
Continuing on with Bioshock whilst trying to juggle school. Last night, finished hanging out at Andrew Ryan's office. So
careful with spoilers.
I'm not going to dive into spoilers. I don't know, because I don't know how long the game is. I want to say I'm approaching probably a midway point, hopefully. I don't know.
If I had to guess, you're getting closer to like 65, 70.
Oh, really? Okay, cool. So yeah, just trucking along, enjoying it.
Yeah.
It is challenging.
It's ramping up, yeah.
It definitely is. I noticed that I die a lot more, which is fine. I like a little bit of a challenge every now and then. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I keep telling you this. A lot of people seem to think that Infinite gets a lot, not a lot of hate, because it actually was really critically well praised when that game came out. But a lot of people in retrospect tend to look a little less fondly on Infinite in terms of how it plays next to Bioshock, because it's more of a shooter. Ammo is less scarce than in the original Bioshock. There's voice acting. Your character speaks in Infinite, voiced by the lovely Troy Baker, who's just the best in everything he does. But
you're stepping on some mighty thin ice here.
I'm really looking forward to finishing Bioshock, because Bioshock is fantastic, but Infinite Infinite's so good, and I can't wait. So I'm excited for you to play through those games, and I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah,
you're
I'll definitely be glad
through.
to share my feedback afterwards.
For me, I won't get into spoilers because you haven't watched a single episode of it, but I did want to point out two very important things in my life. Mr. Robot Season 2, the finale aired last Wednesday. We're recording this on Tuesday, September 27th, so we're almost done with September, man. Isn't that scary? It's almost October.
September.
Yeah. So Season 2 finished. It was fantastic.
Which means that The Flash is going to be starting on Tuesday.
Yeah. And then the other big news is that Rami Malek was nominated and won the Emmy for Best Lead Actor in a Drama Series for Mr. Robot. Huge round of applause. He deserves that so much. Mr. Robot really... It's funny because I'm having the conversation in my head, Stranger Things versus Mr. Robot. What was the best thing I watched this year? And the hard part is that Stranger Things I think is a tighter show overall. But Mr. Robot, I've had 2 seasons now of connections with these characters. So I think I like the world of Mr. Robot better, but Stranger Things was probably a better season overall. So it's different. They're very different dice in this ball game we got with the footballs.
So do you like Mr. Robot and Stranger Things more than Game of Thrones this past season?
Definitely, 100%. I mean, Game of Thrones this last season was fantastic.
That's 3 really good seasons of television.
Seriously, this year's been great for TV.
We haven't even dived into Narcos at all.
No, and I want to watch American Crime
like
Story, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, which just cleaned up at the Emmys.
Yeah.
This year's been fantastic for TV. The awards were fantastic, transparent.
Which makes up for the lack of fantastic movies.
Yeah, that's true, because this year did kind of suck for movies. But
box office was not fun this summer. But that's okay. We got a couple of zingers out there.
Yeah, I think this winter season is going to be interesting.
Yeah, Doctor Strange is like a month away.
Doctor Strange is coming up.
Rogue One, a little movie you might have heard us talk about.
Fantastic Beasts is coming up.
Fantastic Beasts will be cool with a Daniel Radcliffe cameo.
I personally, out of all those movies, I love Rogue One and I love Star Wars, but the most anticipated movie for this year is La La Land.
Yeah, well...
Oh my God.
That's your opinion.
I know. that movie just looks so fantastic.
Yeah, it looks good, but you stand alone on that right there.
Well, between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
I also wanted to bring up an interesting little tidbit before we get into the news. Did you take the Pottermore Patronus quiz?
Not yet.
You should take it on the air.
I know. Right now?
Yeah, why not? No, we don't have time.
Maybe another time.
I got a... what did I get? What are those dogs? I got a dog.
Cocker Spaniel.
No.
Schneider. Schneider is not...
Schneider? Like
Schneider.
Schneider?
Nein!
What? It doesn't matter. I got a dog. Some kind of dog. I also did want to bring up kind of a sad piece of news. This past week, Bill Nunn passed away. And that might not seem like a very popular name to many of you, which is not... he was a very underlooked actor. He's most famous for us for playing J. Jonah Jameson's assistant, the larger, semi-heavy-set black guy
Robbie.
in The Office. Yeah. In the Spider-Man films. And he passed away this past week. And that is sad.
We also had 2 big sport figures pass away in the past couple of days, too, which we don't really talk about sports a whole lot, but...
Talk about fantasy.
Yeah, a rising pitching star in Miami was in a boating accident. He was 24 years old. He died over the weekend, as well as Arnold Palmer, one of the most famous...
I forgot about
the
that.
king of golf, if you will. So it's just sad, but they both had good legacies. Well... Jose Fernandez's legacy was probably cut really short, which is depressing. But
and who was he playing for? You said Orlando?
Miami.
The
Marlins baseball.
Yeah. Well, sad news, happy news for TV and stuff like that, and for people and fans, and yada, yada, yada. You know the drill.
Yep.
Sad to hear about people passing
away,
right. But we love their legacy. So, we're late on the Emmys, but we're going to go through this anyways.
In Radiovania fashion.
Yeah. And
did you watch it? No.
Yeah, did we watch it? No, did you? No. Here's a complete list of winners from the 68th Emmy Awards. Outstanding Drama Series, no surprise, Game of Thrones from HBO. It was kind of expected for this one. It was up...
The best season of Game of Thrones.
It is the best season of Game of Thrones, but it was up against some very stiff competition. American Crime Story, The People vs. O.J. was cleaning up all night, nabbed several great actors, several great writers and directors. fortunately, unfortunately, however you want to look at it, depending on which series you like, I still really want to watch People vs. OJ. Game of Thrones cleaned up in 2 ways, overall for drama, and then Battle of the Bastards won a writing award and a directing award, which is totally deserved, in my opinion.
One of the best hours of television.
Yeah,
from a production standpoint.
As much as I like to poop on Game of Thrones,
Which
trying
you
to curse
frequently.
back, trying to hold back the curses. I just have a problem with the way that they're milking the franchise, milking the TV. But
this season wasn't much of milkage.
No, this season was fantastic.
Production.
This season was fantastic, and it's hard for me to separate one season from the rest of the show, especially since I just came off of last season, which just like visibly angered me. But Battle of the Bastards is fantastic. Just a fantastic, well shot, well paced,
gritty.
Yeah, just really great, really great episode of television. For Outstanding Comedy Series, Veep won, which is awesome. Veep is hilarious. Outstanding Miniseries or Movie, The People vs. O.J. Simpson, American Crime Story, which is why it didn't win Drama Series, because it was up for Original Miniseries or Movie, which is interesting because I think People vs. O.J. and Game of Thrones this season had the exact same number of episodes, but we'll see.
Yeah.
Outstanding TV movie, Sherlock, The Abominable Bride, which I still haven't gotten around to.
There won't be future seasons of People versus OJ.
That's true. That is also true. That's probably why it's
considered a miniseries. Yeah. Sorry. Continue.
Outstanding TV movie, Sherlock, The Abominable Bride. Still haven't seen it. Outstanding variety talk series, Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, which is fantastic. I implore everyone to watch that show. It's the best thing we have since Jon Stewart has left us. Outstanding variety sketch series, Key and Peele won, which is great because they ended the show. Good way to go out for them on a high note with an Emmy. Outstanding actor in a comedy series, Jeffrey Tambor for Transparent. Outstanding actress in a comedy series, Julia Louis-Dreyfus for Veep. My lady, little Laney. Outstanding actor in a drama series, Rami Malek for Mr. Robot. Shout out. Outstanding actress in a drama series, Tatiana Maslany for Orphan Black, which, have you seen any of Orphan Black?
Hell no, dude.
Yeah, me neither.
I don't watch TV.
Oh, you watch a lot of TV. You watch Stranger Things, you watch...
I try to watch TV, and then I wind up rewatching The Office or The Lost. I'm getting there. I try new things sometimes.
For John Larson, Maggie Smith won Best Supporting Actress for Downton Abbey.
McGonagall!
Yeah, shout out to Miss McGonagall.
Mr. Weasley.
Yeah. Kate McKinnon won Outstanding Supporting Actress in a Comedy for Saturday Night Live.
Well deserved. She's carrying the show.
She's great. Did you watch the Emmys at all?
No.
Her acceptance speech for that was super touching. She didn't really...
She talked about Ghostbusters?
She didn't talk... No. But Leslie Jones came out and talked about the email, the Twitter hack where they got her nude photos, and she came out and she played it as a bit, and it was fantastic, and everybody laughed, and it was great. So shout out to Leslie Jones and Kate McKinnon. I don't watch SNL that much nowadays, but her speech was super heartwarming because she was basically like trembling the whole time because I don't think she thought that she was going to win. Or
I mean, in my opinion, she's the most talented person on SNL right now. Definitely. I can't really think of anyone else that's...
It's probably her and Leslie Jones, honestly.
Currently in the SNL. I think, yeah, but Leslie Jones kind of does one bit type stuff.
That's true.
Not that it's not funny. No. I think she's great.
She's the loud lady.
Yes. I think Kate McKinnon's fantastic. So
sure. Let's see. Going through here. Another big one for me, which you need to get on. Outstanding writing for a comedy series, one for Master of None. Aziz Ansari's and Alan Yang. Very deserving. They're awesome. Tom Haverford, yes. Outstanding writing for a drama series, Battle of the Bastards. Let's see.
That got the writing one?
Yes.
What do you write?
And then directing. Directing
other.
also got Battle of the Bastards. Well, you have to write the action. You have to make sure that it looks good. And all the talking leading up to that. So you've got the whole every interaction between Ramsey and John, and
it's all blurred to me. I was freaking out the whole time.
Yeah, seriously.
Plus that end scene with Ramsey and yeah.
Ooh. Light on the spoilers here. Light on the spoilers. Let's go. Let's keep it light.
Go watch it.
Seriously.
Unfortunately, you have to sit through 50 hours worth before you actually
of just ridiculous content.
Probably like 58 hours worth of content before you get there. But the last 2 episodes, good stuff. Anyway,
and that's it for the Emmys. So like you said again,
I watched more Emmy stuff than I did Oscar stuff. So
same. I think the conversation can go ups and downs, and I can feel different about it on a Monday and different on a Tuesday. But I feel like I enjoy TV more as a medium these days than I do movies.
It's starting to get better quality.
Well, I mean, original programming,
production
series,
time too. Sometimes.
Shows are learning not to drag on these 25 episode seasons.
You don't have to wait 3 years for the sequel.
Yeah. So, and with a TV series like Sherlock or whatever, where they just do 3 episodes that are an hour and a half long, you get time to get attached to these characters. And some of these movies now that are like 2 hours, 2.5 hours, is just not enough time.
Transformers.
Who cares about Transformers? Honestly, who's
Transformers versus Nazis? It's happening.
Yeah. I don't know how.
I am Optimus Prime.
How can we beat robot dinosaurs? Give them Nazis.
Allied Company, roll out.
Next up on the Hot Topics list, New Line, short for New Line Cinemas, right? New Line.
Never heard of it. Is that the one they did Lord of the Rings?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, that's weird.
New Line lands Fruit Ninja film based on game.
Oh, gosh.
The studio has landed the film rights to the addictive mobile game app that has become a staple on phones and tablets.
I feel like it hasn't been addictive since 2011.
Yeah. The deal puts producer Trip Vincent back in business with New Line. Vincent had a long history with New Line, having produced such films for the studio such as... You want to guess?
Kung Fu Panda.
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Oh, with Brendan Fraser?
Yeah.
Wow.
He most recently was an executive producer on New Line's action hit, San Andreas, starting The Rock.
That actually was well received at the box office.
Yeah. It was disaster porn movies. J.P. Lavin and Chad...
The Rock sells, man.
That's true. J.P. Lavin and Chad Damiani, the duo behind How to Survive a Garden Gnome Attack at Robert Zemeckis' Image Movers and Sony Animation, are writing the script for Fruit Ninja, which will revolve around a team of misfits who are recruited to become fruit ninjas in order to save the world. So this is why movies are kind of sucking right now, because I think there's
no more original content apparently in the world.
Nope.
Unless you're
Fruit Ninja.
Unless
though.
you're Chris Nolan.
Apparently did you watch the Angry Birds movie?
No.
Did you hear anything about it?
I
feel like it just came and went.
Yeah.
No
I
one
saw
really
a trailer
talked
where
about
he drank pea water, and I was like, "This is not in my age range anymore."
Yeah,
it's one thing to have entertaining cartoon movies,
Lego Movie,
Zootopia, like a lot of stuff that Disney does, and Pixar. Yeah, and then it's another to put out these things that are literally just for kids ages 3 to 8. You know what I mean? Like Ice Age is an example of that.
Ice Age started off so good,
but the sequels are just they're just a cash cow.
I know they are, but it's so disappointing.
They suffered quality for quantity.
Definitely, and that's one franchise where I look back and it's like, what happened? Ice Age 1 is a great animated movie.
Yeah.
Beautiful art style, great voice cast, a touching story.
Yeah. And then
what the hell happened?
You put it in the toilet and you flushed it.
That's just they had like a 3D movie with dinosaurs.
Yeah, they
just
did.
Mismanagement of animated, and it's just a mismanagement of movies right now, man. Like, I don't know. And we'll talk
in terms of summer blockbuster movies for sure.
I feel like winter, the spring wasn't even that great either.
Like come winter, you get all the really good artsy.
Well, right now is the time of the year where no one's putting out anything because they know people just started school and people going like hardcore in work, and it's the fall and no one really does anything, and then it's the winter when it's like shut in, let's go inside.
Did you see that? This is completely off topic, but not really. Jurassic World 2's budget was hinted at.
That was going to be on the news, but I figured we'd just bring it up instead.
Goodness gracious!
Yeah, it's
they're going to hire real dinosaurs.
Yeah, they gotta hire the dinosaurs. We go to the dinosaur casting agency in Los Angeles.
So why do you think you could play the Velociraptor? I'm the only Velociraptor.
It's like, okay, interesting. Can we get you to do that take one more time?
When I heard this, I could only think of one or two things.
Yeah.
Bring in Sam Neill and Goldblum. That's what you guys spend that money on.
And then this past week, Sam Neill, which we'll jump to that right now. Sam Neill confirmed he's in Thor 3.
Ragnarok.
He's been chased by dinosaurs and seen hell in space and got badly lost in the depths of the sea, and now Sam Neill will rub shoulders with Marvel superheroes. That's because the beloved New Zealand actor has confirmed shortlist that he is appearing in Thor Ragnarok, having got the nod thanks to working with director Taika Waititi on the new film Hunt for the Wilder People, which is out now. So
I think I would watch a movie where Sam Neill sits down and reads Dr. Seuss books. I feel like that would be really pleasing somehow. I don't know.
Just erotically pleasing to you?
Not necessarily erotically, maybe, but there's just something calming about the way he talks in Jurassic Park. I'm all for it.
We tried to.
The
other thing, though, is that
they spliced it with frog DNA, and what you don't know about frogs is that they can change. It's just like, yeah.
This past week, he confirmed that Sam Neill would not be appearing in Jurassic World 2, which is heartbreaking for those Jurassic Park fans out there, because I know that you're a huge fan of his character.
I do. I like Dr. Grant a lot.
Yeah.
But Goldblum is still on the table. You could also bring back Laura Dern, who has made a resurface into film, including Star Wars Episode 8. So maybe.
I just don't...
Because think about it this way. The characters that they have right now, are they good enough characters?
They don't have characters. They have Chris Pratt. Yeah. Chris Pratt is basically playing Chris Pratt. Yeah. That's my thing, is that with Jurassic World 2, where are they going to go with that story? Like,
There's more dinosaurs.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, what can we do more than just add crazier creatures? Like, we've exhausted all elements. Like, dinosaurs, we found them, right? Bring the dinosaurs to the mainland, right? Okay, find the place where they're breeding or whatever.
What they'll probably do is the next one will be on the mainland again. They'll just follow the same... They'll follow the Park trilogy.
It's so lame.
And, you know, they'll probably, like, get loose in Dubai or something like that and start wrecking havoc or whatever. Who knows? It's going to make a lot of money, though, no matter what.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll see. I think it was a fluke that Jurassic World made so much money.
It's not a fluke. It's just a... It's kind of like The Force Awakens, but on a lesser extent.
I don't think it's like The Force Awakens because Star Wars is such a beloved franchise. Like,
some people really like Jurassic Park.
But not...
People like
not
dinosaurs.
Not to the levels of Star Wars.
Dinosaurs sell. I don't know how.
Dinosaurs sell for little kids, but for adults.
There you go. That's why. Kids don't want to see dinosaurs. Kids don't understand who Han Solo is. Like, half of them don't know. That's why.
Yeah, but they see a lightsaber and they see ships flying around in space.
And they think about the Clone Wars or some bull crap like that.
Jar Jar's my favorite character in Star Wars.
You know what, kids? You don't need a lot of lightsabers for your Star Wars movie to be good.
I hope there's no lightsabers in Rogue One.
Well, Vader probably won't.
No, I think he'll just choke someone.
He'll use
I'm standing firm with my... And we can make that a drink bet. We'll have to...
They could save on production costs by not igniting a lightsaber.
Yeah. I think it would be totally way more poignant if Darth Vader never uses his lightsaber, because that's not the most important thing about it.
Implode Jyn Erso and just put... like Dr. Manhattan. That'd be cool.
He's going to kill a character, but I don't think it's going to be her.
There's no room for sequels with Rogue One, so...
No, I don't think that she is going to...
I think it's going to be like Ocean's 11 where everyone dies. That's my prediction.
Well, spoilers for Ocean's
11, no one dies.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoiler alert, they all survive.
Next
Even
up...
Clooney.
Even Clooney. Next up, the Assassin's Creed movies' historical sequences are all in Spanish. Hello, subtitles. Quote, I just love the fact the production company New Regency embraced it, end quote. Director Justin Kurtzel, I'm going to say is that name, explains in the new issue of Total Film magazine. Quote, we did play around with English as well, but it was really obvious what you wanted as soon as you went back and started speaking beautiful Spanish. It really adds an exoticness and richness to the film.
So is Fassbender going to speak Spanish then? Because if so, I'm on board.
Yes, that is the article.
Diversify your portfolio, Michael.
I think this is a fantastic idea because, and actually, in truth, I'm getting more and more excited about the Assassin's Creed movie.
I want to go see it at the premiere.
I'm getting more excited about it because they're not saying much about it. And I think that, you know, they've talked about that it's similar, it's following similar paths of the games. I never really enjoyed the games. The story is okay. 2 is pretty good. Black Flag is awesome. But this is cool. I like the trueness to the time period in the Spanish Inquisition. Of course, I hate it when movies are so blatantly casting English actors in like foreign, Jake Gyllenhaal was Prince of Persia, and
that and the Ghost in the Shell movie that's coming out when they cast Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson. Yeah. Did you see those teasers that were floating around? By the way, it looks bizarre but well shot. It looks like the Matrix kind of.
It's like a Blade Runner Matrix hybrid, type deal. Who knows?
But yeah, Assassin's Creed coming out this November, I
think. I don't know.
Well, next up, you can talk a little bit.
I should know.
Get on your soapbox. You ready, John Parkers, for soapbox time?
Yeah.
Disney finally confirmed Star Wars anthology movie for 2020. Disney chief executive Bob Iger has confirmed that another entry in the Star Wars series of standalone anthologies movies is set for release in 2020. In remarks made to the Goldman Sachs Communicopia Conference, that's an awesome name for a conference, and reported by Deadline, Iger said that a writer had been hired to work on the film. This would be the third in the series that would begin with the release of Gareth Edwards' directed Rogue One, a Star Wars story, in December 2016, and followed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller's yet untitled Han Solo film, due for release in May 2018. No details have emerged of the 2020 project. So, what I want to know from you is, what do you think it is, and how long do you think we start hearing details about it?
We won't hear details probably for another year or so.
Okay.
As for what it is, I really don't know. Because so far both of the anthology slotted films take place between 3 and 4, so it wouldn't surprise me if they do that. There's such a large gap between Revenge of the Sith and the original Star Wars movie. A lot of people want Boba Fett. Whether or not you can make a Boba Fett movie is up for debate, considering that the canon...
I mean, that's been a rumor forever, right?
Yeah, but the canon's a little mute right now with the whole clone thing. Not that you couldn't make a cool movie, but you'd have to play that into it.
Well, the rumor... I thought the rumor was that they were going to have... Like, the Boba Fett that we know in the movies is not, like, the real Boba Fett. Like, someone killed him and took his armor and took his name and...
Do that. You know who you get to play him? Jamie Foxx. Do Jango Boba Fett. Django. Just do Django Fett with the D, man.
Have
Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino directed.
There you go. That's what's going to happen.
That sounds fantastic.
Board, yeah.
I mean, I'd pay so much money to see that movie.
Yeah, that'd be great.
In Star Wars universe.
Yeah, black skinhead. That'd be great.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but
Boba Fett's probably a front runner in terms of if you're basing it off of a character. A lot of people, including myself, think a Knights of Ren type movie would be good. Some anthology movie taking place between Return of the Jedi and the new sequel trilogy would also be interesting. Maybe not about any of the main characters per se, but you could do maybe something like that. I don't know.
Yeah. I think we'll start hearing details about this next summer as they're doing the build-up for Episode 8 because...
you really think that they're going to move it back up to the summer?
No. I still think that Episode 8 is
it'll still be
winter.
December, which is a bummer because it's probably going to be ready like tomorrow.
Oh yeah, no, it's not ready. I would bet you by the time Rogue One comes out, they're like 75% done.
They'll have a cut of the movie.
Yeah. So, which is depressing, but at the same time, you know.
Do you think you'll get a teaser with Rogue One?
No.
We got a teaser a year out for The Force Awakens, so.
But with what movie?
No movie.
No movie. I don't know. Well, I could see it going one of two ways because one, if you put out an Episode 8 teaser, you don't want to kill the momentum of Rogue One, but at the same time, it could build on the momentum. Disney's probably like working this out.
Yeah,
they're like tinkering in their lab.
They'll probably put it up on Star Wars Day next year and just wait. That's what they usually do.
I mean, they don't.
That's 6 months before the movie's supposed to come out, though. So like the fact that we don't have anything yet is weird. You know, because considering that we're close to up on a year out from when the movie releases, we've already had stuff like that before.
Can't wait to see those first shots, man.
Oh, yeah.
Adam Driver this past week, talking about how it's more like Empire. It feels like it, the way they were shooting it, the way they were telling the story.
Yeah, I think Rian Johnson's... I trust him.
I trust him, too. Looper is a fantastic film.
I think he's going to do a good job. And he's also... His story... it's going to be like Empire and Jedi, how close they are together, as opposed to Star Wars being more, it could be a standalone film.
Yeah.
His story is going to carry over into 9, so he's going to be basically writing 9, and then Trevorrow's just directing, which I'm totally okay with, because if they do Jurassic World type dialogue, oh my gosh.
All hope is lost.
If Leia's running around in heels being chased by an Indominus Rancor or something like that.
Indominus Rex.
Verizon Wireless prevents the Dominix Rex.
So next up on the list, we missed it because we put up a thing last week about Batman Day. On Batman Day, Jesus Christ himself, Zack Snyder, shared a piece of Justice League with us. In fact, it was the first look at J.K. Simmons' Commissioner Gordon.
Probably the best look of Justice League so far.
And it was funny because on the Batman Day episode, we talked about how we were like, it'd be so cool when they shared that photo of Gordon, and then it came up on that Saturday. I was like, huh, all right, interesting.
Yeah, guess what? We're writing Justice League, son.
Yeah. So what'd you think about the photo? I want to hear. I've not heard your full impressions.
Yeah, I love it. I think Simmons looks the part. It's a very distant shot, but it's a cool shot.
You can make out the character.
You can make
out. If you zoom in,
yes.
It's a high quality photo.
He looks like how Gordon should look. And
he looks like the comics.
It's a pretty easy character to make. You just got the glasses, the mustache, and the overcoat. But the fact that they included the hat is something that Christopher Nolan didn't do, which I'm pretty pumped about because that plays a pivotal role in some of the more memorable Gordon cartoons
Chris
and
Nolan
comics
also
and
made,
stuff like that.
Chris Nolan also made the Gordon much younger in his movies. I felt like Gary Oldman represented a more younger, like more virile.
Well, there's been different stages because in Scott Snyder's Batman, Gordon's young too because he actually takes over the mantle of Batman when Batman, quote unquote, dies. So it really just kind of depends on when you're setting him. But this one's clearly going to be a Commissioner Gordon, not a Lieutenant Gordon working his way up to become Commissioner. So,
well, it was interesting, definitely.
Yeah, I liked it a lot. Looking forward to, I guess, seeing what else Justice League has to offer. We'll find out.
Let's just hope, man.
At this point, it's just not even on the front runner. It's Rogue One season for me.
Next up. Back in my car. Next up on the news list, Mad Max: The Wasteland prequel starring Charlize Theron, Furiosa starts pre-production.
I knew they were going to do this, man.
Charlize Theron's Furiosa was such a vital part of Mad Max Fury Road that many considered her the film's actual protagonist, which is 100% true.
Oh, absolutely.
This naturally led to her speculation about a new installment in the series centering around her, rather than Tom Hardy's Mad Max.
Who didn't even talk.
Yes. He says like 100 words or something. It's something awesome.
Yeah.
And Australia's Herald Sun newspaper is now reporting that the supposed prequel is already in development. A few details cast doubt on the report, namely that director George Miller will once again be returning to the helm of his post-apocalyptic franchise.
Is this just so he can play Immortan Joe again?
The Aussie filmmaker has stated in interviews that should he direct another Mad Max movie, it won't be until he's done with something else first. The Herald Sun is saying that the untitled prequel will, quote, be filmed in and around Broken Hill, end quote, an area in New South Wales, and that shooting could start as soon as later this year. The script is said to focus on the backstory of Furiosa, played by Oscar winner Charlize Theron. We liked that Mad Max quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah, Fury Road was great.
How do you feel about a prequel
based
around Charlize Theron?
She's great. I'm all for it. I don't know. I liked her a lot. She was my favorite part of the movie, but I also really liked Max a lot, and I feel like I didn't get any of him during the movie, it was planned that way. But I would have liked to have seen more of his take on Max as opposed to Mel Gibson's. But this sounds really good. I trust him.
It's fascinating. I think part of the reason why Furiosa was so well used in the movie is because she was such an interesting dichotomy with Max. I think it's going to be weird having her in her own movie because I just don't know. We don't know how this is going to shake out. Yeah. But Tom Hardy was just awesome in that movie. Like, he doesn't say much. Yeah. He doesn't say much, but his facial expressions, he proved it as Bane. He made that character like emote with just his upper face. And Tom Hardy is really just one of the best actors of our generation. And
he's in the top 5 for this past decade.
He's just fantastic.
We should sit down and go through that sometime.
That's true. That's a good idea for a topic, but
we'll get to that.
Yeah, so we'll see about how that shakes out, but I don't know. I'm going to cross this one out because who really cares? We watched a trailer for Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt in space.
Yeah.
Passengers, what did you think?
Okay.
Yeah, whatever.
They're both beautiful people.
Trailer gives away the whole movie. Don't like that.
I actually watched it without sound, so I really liked the trailer. Isn't that weird?
That's probably
I recommend doing that now,
yeah?
Actually. Like, watch the Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice trailer without sound.
Yeah.
Really cool.
A good call. I also want to bring up before we move into our only video game piece of news before we close out with comic book shop talk is that someone at Warner Brothers confirmed that Ben Affleck's Batman movie is a year and a half out.
Oh, really?
So vamp for a little bit.
So that would probably put it slotted in the fall of 2018, right? Or the summer of 2018, depending on what they're doing. So, yeah, so, they haven't started official production yet, have they? Because they've just been doing some kind of like test footage with like Deathstroke, and I'm pretty sure that him and Jeff Johns are still writing that script, so I'm not even sure if it's going yet, but
during the 25th annual Goldman Sachs Communicopia Conference, which is the second time we brought that up this show,
Copacabana.
Time Warner CEO Jeff Bewkes indicated the film was 18 months out. Speaking about the DC Entertainment lineup at Warner Bros., Jeff took the time to talk Batman. Quote, "The reboot of Batman with Ben Affleck was a big success," he said, referring to their fans and a reaction over the actor's work. Quote, "He's going to be EP on Justice League, and that's helpful to the team," end quote. Later, Jeff returned to the topic of Batman and addressed the much-anticipated solo film that Ben Affleck is behind, and surprisingly, he dropped a timeline for the film. Quote, Ben announced... Oh, I went a little Canadian there.
Announced?
Quote,
"Sorry about it.
Ben announced a Batman movie that he's going to direct, star, write for. I think it's a year and a half out, so the strategy worked," end quote.
Okay.
So, if CEO of Warner Brothers knows anything about his company that he's currently running... we could expect to see Batman in a year and a half, which spring, I guess?
Yeah, that'll probably be like BVS time slot, like March.
Spring of 2018?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? That seems...
I think it's interesting that they stole that March spot so they don't have to compete with Marvel's May release, which is interesting, but that's fine.
I feel like you're rushing it. I feel like they know that they have to rush it and they're going to rush it, but I feel like...
everything that could possibly go wrong is going wrong. So
it's just like that image of the dog and the fire, and it's like, this is fine. Everyone at Warner Brothers is just like engulfed in flames, like, oh, we're fine. This is all right.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. Just, that Ben Affleck was pretty good, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's
like, Wonder Woman's coming out in a few months, but hey, that Ben Affleck was good, wasn't he?
I saw an interesting press release saying that they're going to delve into, and this is spoilers for Batman v Superman, but if you haven't seen it, then you're missing out on all the jokes. That they're going to delve into why he kills people in Batman v Superman and Justice League. Like, he's going to have, like, mental repercussions or something like that. I hope there's, like, a therapy session between him and Wonder Woman. They just keep going further down the rabbit hole. It's like, hey, instead of trying to explain it, why don't you just not do it? There you go. That'll work, right? Write better. Anyway. We're not talking about this right now. We always talk about this.
It's true, we do.
Yeah.
The Nintendo NX, fantastic. Will offer different experience to other consoles, says the Ubisoft CEO. Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot has further claims that Nintendo's next console, codenamed the NX, will stand apart from Microsoft and Sony's home consoles. Speaking to IGN at the Ubisoft event yesterday, Guillemot, who has previously expressed his admiration for the upcoming console, explained specifically why he was excited for the NX. Quote, "I think once again the interface is very attractive," he said. "It's a machine that will be easy to use for all gamers. They have built in something that will give us a chance to really have a different experience from what exists today. That's what I like, that they come out with something new that is adapted to what we want now." And it was confirmed that earlier this week, some rando Japanese game developer executives talked about how he was excited to be developing for a console that is portable and...
Oh, really?
Yeah, so...
Sure, it's not because they put food in his table?
Yeah, we'll see. So the Ubisoft is excited about it. They're going to be putting their games on there, and we also know that the rumors are pretty much true that...
it's handheld.
It's handheld, home console hybrid. The patents were correct. It looks like you're going to be able to dock it on your TV, play it on there. And also interesting, this past week, in fact, a couple days ago, there was an accidental price listing. Now, this could be totally fake. It could be just a placeholder, but $349
really
was listed on...
What did we guess?
I said somewhere in the $349 to $399 range. I thought it would be PS4 priced. Was listed on some...
I said $12.
I will give you $12 for this NX, sir.
This POS game system.
Yeah. Just give me Breath of the Wild.
Here's hoping.
So we'll see how everything shakes out. But, John, that is it for the news this week.
All right, well, let's knock out this comic shop talk then real quick. So diving into the world of comics, it's been a while since we've done this, but basically I'm going to go through some reviews first. So you can expect some minor spoilers here and there. But we're going to start out with Rebirth. Rebirth is actually taking an interesting turn. Literally, the day after we talked about how much I didn't like it, all the issues came out that I did like. So let's dive into some of those that I did. starting with Suicide Squad issue 2. And this is a major spoiler for it, but it's pretty sweet. General Zod is going to be the villain in the Suicide Squad.
That image was floating around Twitter like nonstop.
Yeah, enough said. That's pretty awesome. It's already better than the movie, like 10 times better, just based on what they've done so far, and they've only gotten 2 issues into their story. Jim Lee's art is amazing, so I'm really enjoying Suicide Squad. I recommend that is what you go buy. After that was Detective Comics number 940. And in this one, it was actually probably the most emotional book that I've had since reading the Rebirth one-shot in terms of really making you feel for the characters. And it's actually surprising. I've enjoyed the Detective comic run better than Batman. And Batman's not the main feature of Detective Comics. It's more of an ensemble of all of Batman's friends. But I won't dive into big spoilers, but I'm a big Tim Drake Robin fan. And they did him really well justice with this story run. So what's interesting is that when I was talking to you about how the first run of story arcs for the DC Rebirth books were going to be done later on that week, I was like, some of the conclusions might be good, others might not. So now we're jumping into the next series, which I'm hoping some of the ones that weren't necessarily good get a little bit better. And then All-Star Batman 2 is great.
Now.
Yeah.
No.
Scott Snyder is delivering with his writing. John Romita Jr. is doing his art. You have some really fantastic appearances by really low-key Batman villains. Killer Croc, King Shark, KG Beast, people like that. It's a fun book. It's Mad Max.
KG Beast?
Yeah, you know the Russian guy in Batman v Superman? He's supposed to be KG Beast. This is the comic version, the better version.
What Russian guy in Batman?
The
guy who steals his phone?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's basically Mad Max meets Batman is what this is right now. So it's pretty cool.
Cool.
The way that John Romita Jr. draws Two-Face is fantastic. I'm a huge fan. Trinity 1 came out. So that's Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman. It's got some good parts to it. Still confused as the whole Superman continuity, and they haven't really dived into that. It seems like they're taking their sweet time really kind of patching that, because you still have this whole discrepancy between the New 52 Superman and now this original Superman who has a kid and whatnot. But it's pretty cool. Batman and Wonder Woman go to the Kent's farm for dinner, and Wonder Woman doesn't know like dinner customs in America, so she brings an entire wild boar slung over her back, and Bruce Wayne lands the bat plane next to the invisible jet, and they get out, and she's like dressed really nice, and she's got this boar over his back, and he gets out and he's in like a suit and stuff like that, and he's like, "You brought a boar?" And she's like, "Yeah." She's like, "Isn't it dinner?" And he's like, "Okay." I just go inside, but it's fun. Superman number 7. This has been one that I've been on the fence about.
Yeah, you've been up and down with this Superman.
This is a really good non-Zack Snyder version of Superman. It's him, Lois, and their son going to a carnival in Smallville. It's just really enjoyable. So I don't know. It reminds me of kind of like a Christopher Reeves type Superman storyline if they were to do that. And then last but not least for the Rebirth is the beginning of the Batman crossover event, Night of the Monster Men. And this was featured in Batman number 7 and Nightwing number 5 for the first parts. Not that good. I'm a little disappointed. They have a guest writer for this who's co-writing it with the people who are currently writing those books. So he's writing the story, and it's weird. There's just these people that explode into giant monsters, and it's just weird for having Batman fight that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But so the verdict for Rebirth: Suicide Squad is carrying Rebirth on its back currently. There's some other good stuff. Detective is surprisingly good, and they're moving very slowly towards the major crossover event, continuing the Rebirth one where they revealed, again, spoilers, that the Watchmen controlled Flashpoint, all that jazz. So they're getting closer towards that very slowly, which is fine, but kind of just start to get the ball rolling a little more. Mm-hmm. Jumping into Marvel real quick. I don't read as many Marvel books as I do DC books. Guardians of the Galaxy is really steady. There's a reason why Brian Michael Bendis is kind of the Jeff Johns of the Marvel books, and that's just because he's a really good writer, and he fleshes out those characters really well in Guardians of the Galaxy. Old Man Logan is really good, as well as Spidey, and I've talked about those before. So I read both of those at issue 10 this past week, and it was just a lot of fun. Civil War 2 is still going on.
You were hard up on that Civil War.
I'm still hard up on it. It's pretty good. This is, I took a little note here. This is what Civil War 2 should be called. Guardians of the Galaxy v. Avengers v. Inhumans v. X-Men v. Extraordinary X-Men v. S.H.I.E.L.D. v. Spider-Man v. Captain America, Dawn of Too Many Heroes, and a great story that works. There's a lot of people in this book. They focus more on Tony Stark and Captain Marvel, but it still stands pretty well.
Interesting.
Continue to read that. It's a major event in Civil War or in Marvel right now, and every standalone issues are playing into it. So basically what's coming out this week in terms of DC that I will be purchasing will be Action Comics, Batman Beyond, Rebirth, Detective Comics, Hal Jordan, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans Rebirth, and Titans. And then for Marvel, you got your various Captain Americas, Deadpool annuals coming out, some Doctor Strange, some X-Men, Star Wars 23, Totally Awesome Hulk. So that's that for the comic shop talk, and I want to start a little tradition with comic shop talk. So right now we're going to start a little 10-character countdown, starting from number 10, going backwards. And I'm not doing the whole thing, I'm just doing one each time.
Okay.
So this will be number 10, and we're going to start with the category of Marvel Heroes Countdown. So this is, in my opinion...
10 best Marvel
Yes,
heroes?
in my opinion. So this is going to be an interesting start, and you might laugh, but I don't know. Number 10 in JP's @JohnParker Marvel rankings, Invisible Woman. So, the Invisible Woman debuted in Fantastic Four #1 in 1961, created by Stan Lee and Jack Kirby. Obviously, her powers are invisibility. She's pretty cool. She holds the Fantastic Four together. Some interesting facts about her. She was the first female Marvel superhero in the Silver Age, which is pretty historic. Her and her relationship with Mr. Fantastic has been the longest comic book relationship, maybe besides Superman and Lois Lane. So in Marvel terms, it's probably the longest one. She's been portrayed by Jessica Alba and Kate Mara in some pretty bad movies. But I think she's a pretty great comic book character.
Jessica Alba.
Yeah, but there's some cool Fantastic Four books that you can go check out. And out of all four of them, she's probably the most level-headed, which is why I think she's number 10 on the list. And we'll dive into more of those later. But that's all I got.
Wow, well that was a lot of information. Very quickly.
My mouth's really dry. So,
all right. Well, so all in all, sounds like Rebirth is sort of picking up maybe like 40, 60.
Yeah, it is. It's definitely picking up.
That's good. So new comic day tomorrow.
Yep.
What are you excited to be picking up?
Titans, Batman Beyond, Rebirth, and Detective 941, and Suicide Squad.
Cool. All right. Well, next week we'll have to get back together and hear about how that... I'm interested to hear how you like Batman Beyond.
Yeah, me too.
That seems like very cool. Very cool idea.
If Paul Dini was writing it, God, that'd be so sweet. But he's not.
Did Paul Dini write the original Batman Beyond?
He came up with the concept for it.
Okay. Has he had any interaction with Batman Beyond
since
the show?
He wrote the pilot, and he wrote the Joker movie that they made,
okay.
the feature film, which was really good.
Cool.
But yeah.
All right, no at that corner, Dat Cave. Cave this week.
We had a long comic shop talk, so no Dat Cave this week.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been a short episode of Radiovania, but thanks for tuning in. And the premise is very, very simple. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. We talk about nerdy news. We talk about comics. We talk about movies, video games, music, TV, and all that jazz. If you like the show, you can get in touch with us in a myriad of ways. You can go to Twitter. You can go to @Zachratelli. You can go to @DatJohnParker. You can go to @Radiovania. Follow us. Subscribe to our tweets. Favorite, retweet. Go to the shows. I post every single episode link on Twitter and our album art and stuff like that. But if you want to go to our website, if you want to watch our videos, go to radiovania.com, which I wrote on the chalkboard of some random restaurant this past week in Cincinnati. So hopefully we get some viewers from that. Go to radiovania.com, watch the videos on YouTube. It really helps us out. That's how we generate our ad revenue. That's how we're saving up for better equipment, better microphones, so that we can make a better product. And, write reviews, comments, like the videos, subscribe. Click that red subscribe button. It really, really, really helps us out. The higher our numbers, the more content we can make, the better the content will be. We promise you that. Is there anything you had to say left on this one? Are we doing okay?
No, I think we're doing good.
All right, well, in honor of Stan Lee's final Midwestern appearance in the Cincinnati Comic Expo, Excelsior.
Excelsior.